Hey friends, welcome to your no prop yin class. Please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe buttons below. You are so appreciated. We'll begin on our backs, so making your way there. Legs extended long, or maybe knees bent, whatever's most comfortable for you today. And just taking a few moments to arrive, taking slow and steady breath, letting the day fall away, and perhaps setting an intention for yourself, and stating that in the here and now I am present, or perhaps I am grounded. And just reminding ourselves of our intention as we move through practice today. We'll find banana pose. So organizing our shape to resemble a banana, we'll walk our ankles to the lower left corner of the mat and cross one over the other. It doesn't matter which one. Just looking for optimal, comfortable sensation up through the side body. So arms will go long overhead, and orienting the hands towards the upper left corner of the mat, finding a play of opposites between the ankles and the elbows approximately. We'll bend into both elbows and reach for opposite elbow pits, maybe grasping or maybe just letting the arms bend gently overhead. And orienting the heart up towards the sky. Head can stay neutral or gently fall to the left, allowing the eyes to close if that feels comfortable. And dropping into this shape. Again, finding our slow, steady breath. Finding a longer inhale. Finding a longer exhale. Beginning to elongate the whole breath cycle. With each inhale, reaching the top of the inhale and inviting a little pause, a little suspension. And with each exhale, reaching the bottom of the exhale and similarly inviting a little pause, inviting a little suspension. Practicing slow, steady breath in banana pose. And placing our attention on the lovely side bend occurring in banana pose, we'll mentally draw a long line of energy. And starting at the right ankle, up through the right outer knee, the right hip, the right rib cage, all the way up to the right elbow and maybe the right pinky finger. And then breathing into this long line of energy. With each inhale, finding a gentle stretch, a gentle expansion. And with each exhale, finding a gentle compression towards midline. Just noticing any sensation that arises. And in the face of any intense sensation, just returning to our intention, returning to the breath. And as always, listening to our bodies and adjusting the posture as needed. Uncrossing the ankles, we'll send the legs out long and sending the arms out in opposition to the legs, just letting them rest gently overhead. And pausing to notice the effects of banana pose. Migrating the ankles to the lower right corner of the mat and crossing the ankles, mirroring what you did on the opposite side. So if outermost ankle was on top on the left side, you'll put the outermost ankle on top for the right side. And the same goes for the arms, so finding arms extended long overhead with a soft bend in the elbow, or gently grasping opposite elbows. And once again, keeping the head neutral, or maybe letting the head nod off to the right. Finding banana pose on the opposite side. And just noticing any differences from side to side, and let yourself just notice without judgment. Once again, dropping into our slow, steady breath. Finding a long inhale, a pause at the top, a long exhale, and a pause at the bottom of your exhale. Envisioning a long line of energy from the left ankle up through the outer left knee, the left hip, the left rib cage, all the way up to the left elbow and maybe the left pinky. Each inhale will gently expand, gently stretch the side body. Each exhale will gently compress the body towards midline. Returning to our intention in the face of sensation, or perhaps wandering attention. Inviting a softening of the face, inviting a facial expression of more ease, more relaxation. Breathing into the front and the back of the heart. And allowing the shoulder blades to relax, allowing any muscular effort, any muscular holding to let go. And taking breaths that expand the rib cage in all directions. So finding a nice lift to the sternum, but also finding a side-to-side expansion of the rib cage. And even an expansion in the back of the heart. Unraveling the ankles with care, sending both legs long, and bringing both arms down by your sides, just pausing for a moment before transitioning nice and easy all the way up to a seat. We'll be setting up for deer pose once we get there. So setting up for deer pose, we'll sit up tall, bending into both knees, and then dropping both knees to the left. So inner corner of your right knee and outer corner of your left knee should meet the earth. I highly, highly recommend padding up your knees as needed. I've just got a towel here. So we have some options for deer pose, and especially with no props. None of this is a contest, right? So if sitting up tall gives you enough sensation, great. You might also choose to bring the heart a little closer to the earth, but still keep the elbows locked and both palms on the mat. And you might bring the heart even a little closer to the earth, finding a bit more of a forward fold and dropping to the forearms. If you're able to bring the heart all the way forward, that it touches the thigh, and you feel comfortable letting the arms go long, like in child's pose, all of these options are wonderful, amazing, fantastic options. Please just choose which one is going to be the most sustainable for you, especially with us doing longer holds. So here we've got both internal and external rotation of the hip happening. Deer is one of my favorite yin postures for this very reason. So just like in banana pose, we're thinking about taking longer inhales and longer exhales. And then elongating the breath cycle as a whole, finding a longer inhale, finding a little pause or a suspension at the top of the inhale, finding an exhale, And inviting a pause or a suspension at the bottom of that exhale. And placing our attention on the crown of the head, so the very tippy top of the skull, and allowing that point to become heavy, resting towards the earth. Allowing that sensation of ease to travel through the neck. Rounding out the last breath cycle here. And then moving nice and slow, beginning to unravel, finding a tall spine. And pausing here for a moment. Letting the shoulder blades be heavy. Neck is nice and relaxed. On your next inhale, bring the legs back to center, still keeping a bend in the knees. And gently tick-tock the legs from side to side. Again, just moving slowly and with care. Letting some of the rebound effect take place after our long hold. And we'll transition to the opposite side for deer. So this time, knees drop out towards the right. Each knee is bent to about 90 degrees, but if the heels need to come closer in towards your torso or further away from your torso, it's all good. Just do what you need to do to take care of you. On an inhale, we'll sit tall to rotate the heart towards the left thigh. And then on your exhale, dropping the heart towards the earth any amount. Again, so maybe the arms stay long with elbows locked, both palms on the earth. Maybe you drop down to elbows and forearms. And maybe you send both arms long with the heart reclined all the way forward onto the thigh. So setting up kind of like child's pose. Just aiming to mirror more or less what you did on the opposite side, but making room for any sensation differences, any anatomical differences that might show up side to side. And just noticing any of those differences without judgment. And dropping into our slow and steady breath cycle here. So just practicing finding a longer inhale. A little suspension or a little pause at the top of the inhale. And then a longer exhale. With a little suspension or pause at the base of the exhale. Last couple of breaths here. Blinking the eyes open on your next inhale, if you've closed your eyes. And slowly beginning to sit up tall, allowing the legs to remain where they are, just finding a long spine. No rush to get there. And as you're ready, go ahead and transition all the way to your back in preparation for a supine twist. So extending the legs long, one at a time, using the support of your arms to come all the way back down. We'll be twisting to the right first. So bending into both knees. And then hooking the left leg over the right. And dropping the legs to the right. Maybe bring the right palm to rest on the left thigh. Maybe hooking the finger pads into the knee pit of the left leg. And dropping your gaze, if that feels good for your neck, out to the left. And as always, if something in this twist isn't working for you, please adapt as necessary for your body. So maybe you keep the right leg long and just bring the left leg over. Maybe instead of hooking the left leg over the right, you just drop both bent knees to the right. So just setting up in whatever option is going to feel best for you today. And allowing the eyes to close if that feels comfortable for you. each inhale to gently expand the rib cage in all directions. And allowing each exhale to gently compress the rib cage in towards the midline. Finding our slow and steady breath once again. Checking in with the jaw once more. Just placing our attention in the jaw. And befriending the exhale to invite any tension to release. We'll round out our last couple of breaths here. And then releasing the right hand from the left thigh or the left knee pit. And bringing the hand instead to the outer right knee, the right thigh, to give your legs some support as we bring them back up. And still keeping the knees bent. We'll just let the knees knock in towards one another, both feet flat on the earth. And as you're ready, we'll transition to a supine twist to the left. So just like with deer, we're looking to more or less mirror what we did on the opposite side. So if you chose to cross one leg over the other, then for this side, the right leg will cross over the left, and then dropping, dropping both knees over to the left. Or if opting to just bend both knees and stack the legs by dropping them both to the left, that's also a great option. And offering yourself the same kind of support that you took for the other side. So this time, the left hand will gently support your twist by hooking left finger pads gently into the right knee pit, or just resting on the right thigh. And the head can be in a neutral position, or if it's comfortable, to look to the right, look off to the right, or closing your eyes. working with each inhale to breathe space into a long line of energy from the outer right knee up through the right hip, the right side body, and the right armpit. So allowing each inhale to lengthen this line and maybe even pull you out of the twist a bit. And letting each exhale help you sink just a touch deeper. We'll keep that in mind as we finish up the last couple of breath cycles here. And slowly, super slowly, we'll move the left hand to the outer left thigh to support the legs, to come back to a more neutral position. The knees will stay bent, but this time knocking in towards one another. And the feet will stay flat on the earth. And we will transition into Shavasana as you are ready. So maybe you'd like to leave the legs where they are, both knees bent, both feet flat on the earth with the knees knocking in towards one another. Or perhaps you'd like to extend the arms and legs long. Either way, this is a time to relax, to let the practice marinate in your mind, body, and soul, and to just release any control of where your body is in space, what it's doing, and any concerns about the breath as well. So just a time to suspend any awareness of that. So I'll be quiet for the next couple of minutes, and when it's time to close up practice, we'll do that together. So please relax and enjoy. hands, go ahead and wiggle fingers and toes. Bring the arms out overhead, reaching the fingers long, reaching the toes in opposition for a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening stretch. And bend into both knees and roll to one side to rest for a moment. Allowing the eyes to stay closed if that feels good for you. And then pressing up to a seat. We'll close out our practice today, bringing hands to prayer and placing them at 3 points on the body. So, palms together, hands at prayer will first come to the forehead, the third eye, for clear and loving thoughts. Then to the lips for clear and loving communication. And last to the heart for clear and loving intentions. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Be well.